In the heart of Cambridgeshire, this is Salaam Radio.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Salaam Sports here on Salaam Radio. This is your host Imtiaz Ali, and I'm pleased to be back after a week off last week. Unfortunately, we couldn't do the show last week. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. But on the phone, I believe I have Rashid Ansari. Rashid, are you there? Hello. Do we have Rashid? I don't think we do. Do we have Rashid on the line? No, we don't have Rashid on the line, but ably supported in the studio, I have my two partners in crime, Sadat and Arif. Assalamu alaikum to you both.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
You guys are sat very close to each other.
Yeah, I know. We love each other.
You're very, very close to each other. You get good friends, yeah?
Not really.
Beyond friends.
Rashid,
not really.
I'm just checking. Rashid, do we have you on the phone? No, I don't know what's going on. So at the moment, I can't seem to get Rashid. So, studio manager, when you do get Rashid on the phone, just give me a wave and I'll get him live on air. So, yeah, I was just saying welcome to the show. Good to be back. Good to have Arif in the studio after a while.
I know.
After a while.
It's been a little while, yeah.
Had to pick him up. That's why we were late. He was
is that what it is? Yeah. So Arif has managed to get his lift sorted. So it's good to see you back in the studio, mate.
Yeah,
He's run up the
You're a
stairs.
little bit out of breath. I'm gonna have to turn your mic down because you're breathing heavy down the mic.
He was running up the stairs, and I was saying, "Jal, door."
Well, you made it. You made it in time. Look, we've got a number of things going on in the world of sport. One thing we don't have on right now is football. It's obviously end of the season.
Transfer talks,
What we
isn't it?
do have, is lots and lots of transfer talks. We'll talk about what's going on in the transfer market, all the comings and goings and so on. But before we do, let's pick up on the Grand Prix. Anybody following the Grand Prix at all?
Not followed it really today.
Oh, we can't really talk about the Grand Prix if nobody's following it. Are you following it at all? You don't follow
I
the
don't follow Grand Prix, but I don't think he's our usual man's not winning, is he?
Oh,
I don't
Lewis
think they've
Hamilton.
started.
Hamilton,
They already
yeah.
started the race.
I was
Verstappen's in the lead, isn't he? On the table, he's on the top.
Yeah, I think they're struggling. Hamilton's car's struggling, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's turned around and said that it's the worst he's ever had it.
Wow.
Mercedes.
Okay. So not likely that he's going to be competing.
No,
Come the end of the
I've
season.
looked. They've had 8 races.
Yeah.
He hasn't won anything as of yet.
Wow.
I
I mean, this is what I don't really like. Sorry, go on.
Finishing top 3, it's extremely difficult for Mercedes right now.
Yeah, see, this is why I'm not into this sport. I mean, all of a sudden, it's the car's fault. And if he's winning, it's like, oh, what a great driver, you know.
Well, Lewis Hamilton is placed 4th on the starting grid.
4th.
Behind Verstappen, Alonso and Sainz Jr. So not too bad. Let's try Rashid again. Let's see if he's online. Let's try this. Assalamu alaikum, Rashid. Can you hear me?
Yay.
There we go. Yeah, we had a few technical issues, but we managed to get you on. Yeah, we're doing all right. Rashid, you'd be pleased to hear that Arif is back in the studio today after a long hiatus.
Lovely to speak to you, Rashid.
You do. It's good to have you back.
Yeah.
Good to hear you.
And he was just telling us, he was giving us deep insights into the Canadian Grand Prix, which he's not really been following.
I don't think they started it. Have they already started the
They
race?
haven't started. I don't think they've kicked off yet.
Yeah, he's 4th. I think Verstappen's won 5 races out of 8, hasn't he?
In the Grand Prix, it starts at 5:30.
Yeah.
Our time here, I think about 1 o'clock there. But yeah, you think Verstappen should win, but Alonso had an amazing drive yesterday, and Hamilton seems to finally do something decent for this season. He's just been insignificant, isn't he?
Yeah, he's placed 6th in the driver standings with 62 points, and Verstappen's got 150 points.
Yeah.
So he's a million miles away from it. It just goes back to what you said about him not being completely happy with his car, but he's 4th on the grid today. So maybe
I think he should. My personal views, I reckon. They realized last year that his car was not going to be as strong this year, with all the drama what we had at the end of the, I think
last race.
Yeah. I think he had an opportunity to consider moving away from Mercedes.
Yeah, he could have made a big move, but he didn't. Just especially the way the season finished last season.
Yeah,
it was quite heartbreaking, wasn't it? Even for
This is
people.
it,
Yeah,
This is it. Because last season, all through the first part of last season, he was behind. He was behind Verstappen, right? And it was only after the mid sort of season break, they have the 3 weeks, where they, because his car wasn't the fastest, and the Mercedes then made the requisite changes, and then he had a good chance, and he came storming back. And even the way it finished, fair enough, how it finished, you can have your own opinions on that, but Verstappen nicked it. So you thought Mercedes would now go away, and they would work their backside to ensure, not only they became, the car was brilliant, and Hamilton then was able to break the world record and become, win his 8th championship and just be clear of everyone.
Yeah.
But it's completely backfired. And that's the shocking thing. It's completely got an absolute rubbish car.
Yeah.
And Verstappen seems to be just sailing away.
What surprises me is why can't they get the car right? I mean, they've had a good few months to work on the car, and is it just that? I don't get it. Why they've been top.
New restrictions FIA have added on, which basically means you sort of it's like you've got to put up a board within just below the engines, or sort of between the tires and the engines or whatever. I don't know. It's like a safety reg, and that makes your car kind of bounce. And
that's the same for all cars, isn't it?
Your head's bouncing up and down at 200 miles an hour for about an hour and a half, 2 hours while you're driving around a circuit. That kind of does you. But more importantly, why? But that's not enough. Though. Why is it Mercedes' car has gone backwards in the last 2 years?
Yeah. So that when you take your car into the mechanics, first thing he says is, "Oh, that's going to cost you."
No, first thing is, you better pay me first. You don't pay up.
Mercedes said that the car in the garage over
just
the whole
bouncing
summer.
your head at 200 miles per hour. Just thinking about the fun fair the other day. It was on one of the rides, and my head was bouncing.
Yeah, I don't think it was 200 miles an hour.
No, not quite 200 miles.
About 20.
I was sick afterwards.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so we'll obviously follow that race, and we'll update the listeners.
There's
on
a comment from Arif. I know we're not talking about football at the moment, but he says really sad about Mane leaving Liverpool.
Yeah,
I just thought I'd share that.
Okay, we'll come on to that in the second half of the show. The other thing going on right now is the US Open golf. Anybody following that at all?
Golf. I've got a gift for you.
You got a gift for me, right?
Yeah.
Let's wait for this. He's got a gift for me. He's got a manky old.
He's found one today.
Top Flight XL. This is like a 1980s golf ball. Do you know how
That's
far?
antique. Does that worth
This
a lot?
pretty much is antique, and it's covered in mud.
Yeah, it was on the football pitch the kids were playing.
You do realise he offered that to me first.
Did he?
No,
Spalding. It's got Spalding on it, and
No,
it says
he
Top
did.
Flight
No,
on
he
it.
did not afraid.
This is worth, monetary speaking, this is worth about 10 pence. So
I
I
thought
really
you played
appreciate
golf
it.
so much that you'd appreciate it rather than me just throwing it around on the pitch that we were playing today.
I think you'd probably get more benefit out of this than I would, but I will take it. all gifts gratefully received. Thank you so much. Yeah, golf ball. So US Open into the final day. And as it stands, we've got an Englishman at the top of the leaderboard, Matt Fitzpatrick, on 4 under par. Fitzpatrick, yeah.
Is he Irish?
Well, he might have some.
Sheffield.
Sheffield.
Yeah, we might have some Irish roots like way back on with the Fitz, but he's sitting pretty at the top of the leaderboard. Rashid, are you following it at all? Will Zalatoris also 4 under par?
Yep, I'm following it. I mean, the thing I don't know if you want to talk about, or is like the Lift Tour and Saudis and what's happening in golf. I'm sure, Image, you must be following this because you're a proper golfer.
I am following this. And
It's intriguing, Image. I'd love to hear what you have to say because there's been a lot of backlash as well.
Yeah, that has. So obviously for people who don't know, so they're the Saudis are trying to start a brand new golf tour. Nobody owns. You know, a little bit like FIFA did the World Cup. And who the heck are FIFA, right? Who appointed them? Who put them in place? But they just so happen to be the organisation that run international competitions. And it's automatic that like the FA would affiliate with UEFA and the FA would affiliate with FIFA on a world level. So in golf, like there's no official like tour. It's just whoever can bring the sponsors together and whoever can run a selection of events. So you've got the main tour over here, which is the European tour.
Yep.
And the European tour organisers, they speak to lots and lots of sponsors, and they get really cool golf courses, and they get some of the best European golfers to tour around Europe, but also they hit things like South Africa, Australia, and Southeast Asia. In America, it's pretty much like they'll go to all the different states and they'll play all the best courses. And I think they nip into Canada and they nip down to Mexico as well. But otherwise, it's pretty much in the States and Hawaii. And that's where the big money is. So if you're one of the best top 20, 25 players in the world, maybe actually it's the top 64 players in the world automatically qualify for the US tour, and that's where the biggest money is. But some top European players like McIlroy, Fleetwood, these guys, Justin Rose, Luke Donald, these guys, they'll flirt with both the PGA Tour, but they'll also play the European Tour because they want to support their own tour, but they also want to make lots and lots of money. So they do a bit of both.
Of course.
The Saudis have come out and they've said, scratch that, let's have a brand new format where we'll put in, instead of a $3 million first prize, we'll put in a $5 million first prize.
Of course they will.
And we'll only have a select field of 60. It's like the breakaway Super League with the football clubs, right?
Yeah, they're gonna
We'll only have
best
the
of
top.
best.
We'll have the
Yeah.
top 60 players in
Yeah.
the world would automatically qualify, and beyond that, there might be like some weekly qualifiers and stuff. And we'll hit golf course all around the world. And I think they were. I can't remember exactly the number of events, Rashid. I think it was like 10 or 12 events over the year.
12 events, yeah,
12 events. So those 12 events, they'd pick their own weeks. And the players who want to compete for the big money would then have to say sorry to the European Tour. We can't play in your event at Wentworth because we've got this massive event in Las Vegas sponsored by the Saudis. Or they'd say sorry to the PGA Tour. We're not going to play this this tour event that you've had on for the last 15 years that I've played in every single year because the first prize is only 2.2 million, and over here it's a smaller field, and if I win I get 10 million. And obviously the players are going to follow the money, so nobody's got like a monopoly over it.
You say obviously, so no players that are, when Arif says there's a backlash, there's no players that have come out and said
Lots of players have come out publicly and privately as well. So
in support or against?
For support, absolutely. As a player, why would you not support it? Is another avenue where they can. It's a bit like when in cricket where players would decline to be part of the test team because it would basically it would coincide with the IPL, right? And the IPL is paying them like £1 million for 10, 12 games, and the test team, they're contracted at something like £300,000 a year. So it just doesn't make sense. Rashid, what are your thoughts on it? What do you think? Do you reckon it will take off?
Without any doubt, it will take off.
Money makes the world go round, doesn't it?
I think they've got some big players involved now as well.
Yep, they have. I mean, look at the players they've been signing up and what's been happening with that.
Well, Phil Mickelson was one of the first ones that controversially said he'd play.
Yeah.
And you know what annoys me is, the PGA Tour and the European Tour, they'll say things like, oh, but what about Saudi's human rights abuses? And they're running this tournament and you want to join it. And they use the guilt card, and yet they themselves hold events in Saudi Arabia. So the European Tour goes to Saudi Arabia. The Ladies European Tour, they've got like 3 events in Saudi Arabia recently. I was following that. There are 3 or 4 events in Saudi Arabia. And I was just thinking, like, they've got no issues with taking Saudi money into the European Tour. But when the European Tour is about to be replaced,
hypocrisy.
It's hypocrisy at its finest.
There's no hypocrisy like liberal hypocrisy, is there?
Oh, that's the worst. That's the absolute worst. I'm guilty of it myself. I love it. It's quite soothing to indulge in.
Might take that golf ball back and start practicing if it's £10 million.
It's a heck of a lot of money.
How much did Mickelson get to sign on? He got a signing on fee of 200 million. It puts Mbappe in the shade. Schadenfreude and Mbappe.
Are you serious? Like, you got 200 million signing on?
Yeah, the biggest golfers are getting like £200 million.
Yeah, there's.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
What are
this is
they going to do with all this money? I don't understand it.
Don't worry, I'm sure they'll find a way to spend it. And if not, just pass it on to the next 10 generations. But the key thing here is that, like, to get something started, you need some. They say that you need big names, right? You absolutely need big names. Absolutely, they've tapped up Phil Mickelson. Phil Mickelson, if you take out Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson has probably been the biggest name in golf over the last 25, 30 years. Everyone's favourite, fantastic player, really, really exciting player, left-handed, like you, Arif, left-handed golfer there. You know, probably a little bit more talented than you, but yeah,
Just a little bit.
He's played a lot longer than me.
If Phil Mickelson,
Give it time.
the thing is, if Phil Mickelson goes, then there's maybe 20, 30, 40 players on tour that have idolized Phil Mickelson growing up, and they'll say it's good enough for him, it's good enough for
Enough
me.
for us, yeah. If he could do it,
And
why-
they will go as well. And these are, you know, young players, top players, the players that are going to take the game to the
So
next
when's
level.
it planned to be started? Is this next
I
season?
think
or
it's
in the next
next.
2 years?
Yeah,
3
I
years?
think it's next year. I think they've had one or two like introductory like taster tour events, haven't they, Rashid? But it might just be like invite only. It's not been fully televised. But again, look, like the TV stations, right? They want to put out the best golf content in the world. Right now, everybody's fighting for the rights for the PGA Tour. Now, if the Saudi event gets the best golfers, Sky Sports are going to say, right, we want the Saudi tour because they're the ones that have got, you know what, Marikawa there, they've got Cantlay there, they've got McIlroy there, they've got the best players. And who have you got? You've got the has-beens, the rest, the players not good enough to get onto that tour are the ones. And then the official world golf ranking system, that takes into account the strength of the field when they give you your ranking points. So if you finish first in an event down the road that nobody's playing in, you might get a couple of points. You finish first in the Masters, you get 100 points, 100 ranking points. So all of a sudden, the ranking points are going to be weighted towards the Saudi event. So the value of the PGA Tour just goes down the pan. It's all about money, isn't it? But my question is, what is it that says the PGA Tour has, you know, the God-given right to host the biggest and best tournaments?
Well, I think it's, if you look at all these European and all these Americanized events, they do want to monopolize everything, don't they?
Of course they do, yeah, absolutely.
And I think there's obviously...
It's like the Indian IPL. Look, the European Tour and the USPGA, but either they're going to have to compromise or they're going to tend to second-rate tours because they have to rely on sponsors. Saudis don't. They just go in the back garden and pull out, you know, just pull out a couple more barrels of oil, and there you go. The money's there. They don't need sponsors, so they don't care about them, you know, European talk or American talking about human rights, but they got Guantanamo Bay still running. You know, the irony.
Easy, not a political show, mate. Go on.
But you know what I mean? The Saudis have got the money. If you've got the money and you're signing the best golfers, and then forget Sky or wherever, they can go to a place like DAZN, right? All these new sports channels are coming online and all the rest of it. They can sell it to Amazon and Netflix and whatever. The Saudis can do, or they can set up their own sports streaming services and nick all the best commentators. Like they're paying off the golfers, they'll nick all the commentators as well.
They will, yeah. That's another big aspect of it as well. Is people do listen to, like we talk about it in the football as well. Like, you know, when there's a match showing on both BBC and ITV, you'll pick the one which has the more, you know, sensible commentator, right? You'll avoid the Carragers. You'll avoid the Carragers, yeah, of course, yeah. But you'll pick the commentator that you're absolutely right. There's going to be a rush for the top commentators, the commentators that are associated with golf for the longest period of time.
Can I just say we're available?
Or yeah, we're absolutely available. Or you know what? Or they might just go straight out of left field and just change the game up because golf commentary is pretty boring. Like, you know what? You change an octave up and all of a sudden it's like, hey, it's not that kind of sport. You know, calm down, yeah, relax. So yeah, I mean, they might change the game up, but it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Definitely looking forward to that, and I'll be catching the golf as well later on today.
Peter Drury can do commentary.
You on the golf?
Yeah, it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
It would be hilarious. Or American soccer commentators.
No.
Just outside the semicircle.
No. You know, and when you do, I'm not going to say it, but you know, some people stream football, right?
Some people do, yeah.
Do they? Oh my god.
Yeah.
The Arab commentators.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But it'll be like McElroy. You can't even say McElroy in Arabic. How do you say McElroy in Arabic?
McElroy.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be... Or the Gary Neville moment. Just
What was this again?
with the Torres and with the
Yeah.
Torres goal. Yeah, we're not going to try. No, we're not going to replicate that. Oh no, we are absolutely not going to replicate that. Listen, let's move on. We're running out of time in the first half. So we've got cricket. Pakistan beating West Indies.
Yeah, that was pretty expected, shall we say. There
Don't
wasn't
say
much of
that.
a fight
Don't
from West
say that.
Indies. They had
Why
a
does he
few
do that?
players.
When we
It was-
lose, he rips it out of Pakistan,
Well,
right?
if you expected to, if they
And
lost
when we
to
win,
Indies,
it's like, oh, yeah, standard win.
if Pakistan had lost to West Indies, then I'd rip it out because you wouldn't expect it as a home tour, a much stronger team. West Indies is still rebuilding. They haven't got any fight in them, to be honest with you. Before they had, your Chandra Pauls, your Laras, or somebody to even build the team around, shall we say. They don't have that
They
much
beat
now.
they beat England, didn't they?
England, though. I mean, look, England. How they had a shocker tour, sacked the manager, come back. They've beat New Zealand again with a bit deflated team and rebuilding as well, and had injuries. And now they've gone and beat COVID, and then now they've gone and beat Netherlands. With all due respect to Netherlands, and all of a sudden England's a great team again because they scored 400 in the 50 and made a world record, which is a great effort. But when you see records by certain players and they've against India or Australia, they've hit a couple of 200s, and you see a batsman that says, "Yeah, I hit a 250," but it was against Netherlands. You're thinking, "Yeah, not quite the same, my friend."
If it's on the Guinness World
It
Records,
is.
then it counts, right?
Yeah, but it also tells you who it's against as well.
You can
I
only
understand
beat.
what Sadat's saying.
You can only beat who's in front of you. You can only beat who's in front of you.
Two things I'd say is firstly, give kudos to everybody that played in Pakistan, because the heat over there
Oh yeah.
it's disgusting, right? It's going up to 50 degrees in parts of Pakistan, and they played the first two games in Multan, right? Imagine how hot it's out there. And they played that, and it was 50 over game as well. They played in Multan during the day, and then they played in Karachi. Clap standing up to Pakistan for winning the series. And then secondly, I think the changes that instituted by Imran Khan when he became PM or whatever, Pakistan's cricket system, are starting to show, because the style of the game and the ability and the
Yeah, but he's not PM anymore, is it? So
Yeah,
we're
but
gonna
he's
start
got his
going
man
backwards
Ramiz
again.
Raja still there, though, isn't he? And Ramiz Raja, I believe, is still there anyway.
So for getting rid of the old system and bringing in eight sort of system, how mimicking it on Australia, their domestic cricket is now starting to take effect, and that's and you're starting to see it now, which is really good for us Pakistan fans.
Any big games coming up? What's the big summer tour for England?
Well, after this, they've got South Africa. They've got a white ball series with India.
Okay,
India playing South
And
Africa
then
at the moment,
after
aren't
that, they play South Africa.
I do like England, South Africa. That's always got a bit of bite. I do like that.
Is it? What about Pakistan? Are they playing Pakistan? Reese, they're supposed to be playing them this year, aren't they?
In December, I believe there was the
The T20 World Cups in November in Australia, same time as the actual football World Cups one as well. So
and they're having this year as well the Asia Cup, are they not? I believe because it'd be obviously because of COVID, they've not had that for 2 or 3 years. So the Asia Cup as well between Bangladesh,
So
Pakistan.
not much work
India.
is going to be done over the month of
November.
November when pretty much everybody's just going to be following the sports.
Because during the night because the T20 World Cup's being held in Australia, so during the night we're watching the cricket, and during the day we're going to be watching the football.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
When you're not going to do any work.
Well, I'm going to be logged in. My mouse will be moving.
Yeah, you have to keep out so the icon stays green, isn't it? It's on
Yeah,
Teams.
exactly that. Exactly that.
During the football World Cup, we've got 4 games: 1, 3, 5, and 7 o'clock for the first 2 weeks.
Wow. That's going to keep us busy.
Yeah, no one's getting any work done.
That's
good. That's good.
The thing about Qatar, I mean, I read Qatar's only got like a population of about 3 million, 3 to 4 million, something like that.
It's a very small population.
And they're expecting 1.2 million visitors over the World Cup.
I've been there, so they've got facilities.
Well, I think when you went there, they didn't have 1.2 million visitors.
They didn't. But
You had 1.2 friends with you. But
I'm
that's it.
hearing they're building. They're basically putting up tents in the desert.
Yes.
to-
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw the documentary.
Which
of
I
the
think would be quite
facilities. That
nice,
looked
as long as
pretty
you
cool,
because it gets very cold, doesn't it, in the desert at night time. and obviously incredibly hot during the day. And you won't have the facilities like you have in the 5-star hotels with the pool, spa, sauna, all that kind of stuff.
I think they still have air conditioning in those tents.
You'd hope they would do. Yeah, they were probably big marquee tents.
But yeah, I think the tournament I went to, they
Which tournament did you go to?
That was obviously it was the Champions League, the top clubs, World Cup.
What happened?
It's when Liverpool won, didn't they?
They win or they lose?
Oh, the World Club Champion. Oh, right. Okay.
That stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't count. That trophy doesn't count. That trophy doesn't count.
So many years.
It counts.
It's not a Carling Cup.
No,
and it's not an FA Cup, so it doesn't count. Yeah, it only counts if it's a League Cup or an FA Cup.
No, FA Cup. Well, who cares about Carling Cup?
Proper trophies.
Yeah. It counts if you win, not just get to the final and lose.
We're heading into the break very, very shortly. Just before we do, there's a little poster on my desk which
you were waving about.
I think I might have been responsible for distributing it a few days ago. Life Under Occupation. There's an event at the Millennium Centre on Friday the 1st of July, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. The event consists of a short film, some guest speakers, and a live link to the West Bank.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
There'll be a Q&A session, and Sadat, you'll love this, Palestinian food.
MashaAllah.
Yeah. Palestinian products will also be on sale, so do join us. It's free entry. It's at the Millennium Centre on Friday, July the 1st. Rashid, you know about this event, don't you? This is the one where Mike Cushman's going to be speaking at, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, if you can, pop down to Peterborough. It would be awesome if you have you down there. It's on Friday the 1st of July. So, guys, put that in your diaries and remember to attend. 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. free entry, Friday, July the 1st, Millennium Centre. Right, we're going to go to the break, but after the break, we've got lots and lots of transfer news, gossip, what's going on. So stay with us, and we'll be back in about 4 short minutes.
Stay tuned to Salaam Radio after this short ad break.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
Gurbani. It is the greatest sacrifice, a sacrifice that you feel, something of value that you part with, enough to draw you closer to Allah. It is the joy and hope of those in need, the essence of your faith, and your submission to Allah. This year, offer the greatest sacrifice with Muslim hands from £35 to £245. To order now, visit muslimhands.org.uk.
हाँ जी जनाब आज तुसने किया 12 बजे वे
यरा फैमिली की बाहर खड़ना चाहना या खिलाने पिलाने से सोचना कुथे जाओ
इसी च परेशानी है लिकड़ी गल है इब्राहिमी बफे रेस्टोरेंट पर जाओ उते फ्री पार्क करो उन्होंने मजेदार ते स्वादले पाकिस्तानी इंडियन चाइनीज ते इटालियन आय 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 खाने ना ते जोड़ी कोई नहीं नाले सस्ते ते स्वादले
ए तेरा अक्सर इसका मतलब है बटवा भी नहीं होला होनेगा इब्राहिमी बफे रेस्टोरेंट वैरायटी ऑफ डिलीशियस डिशेस के अलावा जेलाटो आइसक्रीम एंड वॉफल्स भी करते हैं वीकेंड्स पर अपना टेबल बुक करवाइए और वीकडेज तशरीफ ले आइए ओपनिंग आवर्स शाम 5 बजे से रात 10:30 बजे तक इब्राहिमी रेस्टोरेंट 63 Sycamore Avenue Peterborough PE1 4JP टेलीफोन 01733 313131
HS Lawyers make it so simple. Contact Majid Sarwar or Asad Arif today for any matters relating to immigration, family, business or property. Google HS Lawyers to see why we're the highest reviewed firm in Peterborough, with over 500 testimonies on our honesty, speed and excellent communication, making your legal matter simple, easy and stress-free. Contact us today on 01733 703 978. That's 01733 703 978 or email us at peterborough@hs-lawyers.co.uk. HS Lawyers, built on values of integrity and respect, with offices in Peterborough and throughout the West Midlands.
Asia Restaurant gives you the unique fusion of flavours from Turkey, Iraq, Syria and Iran. Our shish kebabs are grilled on a charcoal barbecue for that authentic taste. Lamb shanks, fresh shawarma, chili kebab, lamb shish, grilled chicken, freshly made baklava and so much more. Eat in or order through Peterborough Eats or Peterborough Grab. Asia Restaurant, 5 Fitzwilliam Street, Peterborough, PE1 2RU. Call us on 01733 562 530. Great prices, great quality. Why not come and find out for yourself? Asia Restaurant, the true taste of the Middle East.
Assalamu alaikum. We are back. We are live on Salaam Sports. This is Salaam Radio 106.2 FM. Thank you so much for joining us again. In the studio with Arif and Sadat and on the phone with Rashid. Just before we start on the second half of the show, I'd like to dedicate this show to a very close friend of mine, a friend of ours, a friend of the show also, a friend of the community who's recently passed away, a very close friend of mine, Muhammad Yunus, who was in Pakistan and unfortunately got unwell and passed away in Pakistan last week. So, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. It's a big loss, a big loss for the community. And I say this on air, and I say this as part of the show because he was a massive fan of the show. And he was a massive fan of Manchester United. And that's the segue into the next part is, what would his thoughts be on their lack of transfer activity? I know he was very active on the Shisha group, which you guys are on, and you talk a lot about football activity. And he was probably the biggest thorn in the side of Liverpool fans.
He was.
He was the guy who probably annoyed Liverpool fans more than even Rashid, probably, right? Just in terms of his bants and bat level, but he was very keen on United signing Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, I think he was.
Don't laugh, Rashid. This is true story. This is true story.
I think he assumed they had a chance of signing him up.
It was all a brilliant plan by United.
Yeah, this is what I was going to say. I was going to say
similar to what Schwarzenegger did to Stallone on "Don't Shoot" or "Stop or My Mother Will Shoot." He thought he was. There was rumours he sent out Schwarzenegger.
It sounds like a really cool film.
It is.
Is it worth watching?
No, but
is it Netflix?
What happened is Schwarzenegger.
What year was it released?
In the 80s, I think.
Have you heard about it?
Never heard.
Anyway, Rashid, moving on. Rashid,
I give a quick mention image. I mean, I don't know, who after B2B Evis, mashallah, he's basically won 3 of the light heavyweight titles last night. He's Muslim, he's from Dagestan, and he's like basically the light heavyweight.
UFC?
No, boxing.
Boxing, okay.
Like boxing, no. Yeah.
When you say Dagestan, I just think Nurmagomedov, right? And I just think
I know. There's quite a few of them actually in MMA now, but he's the light heavyweight boxing champion of the world. He's got 3 titles, and there's one other guy who's got the others, and hopefully they'll fight. But yeah, mashallah, he's just really good.
Oh, mashallah, great news. But I just want to bring you back to Darwin Núñez. So listen, okay, so I've been pretty quiet on this, Rashid. I just want to get your views on this, right? I've been pretty quiet on this. I do know that you were sharing some stuff about how Cavani's talking to Núñez and trying to. He's really keen to get him at United.
United initially did make the contact, and everything was there. But it seems ETH, Eric Ten Hag, the way the style and everything he wants to adopt, and the way the play he wants to get, he just wants Frankie de Jong. It seems as if United won't do anything till they'll sign Frankie de Jong, and that means Núñez and Timber, because United had already done the deal with Timber, and
Timber, Vitinha as well.
I think Vitinha is nonsense, but no, it was genuinely Timber and Núñez was spoken to. Agents agreed, everything was on board.
Oh wow!
But that was all of this was put on the side. We said wait, because Ten Hag wants Frankie de Jong, And the problem with Frankie de Jong is because he's at Barcelona, and Barcelona's got so many financial problems.
Fire sale, mate. Fire sale at Barca.
And you know, they're 1.3 billion euros in debt.
Yeah. Just before we...
Therefore, it just meant that United put that on the back burner, which basically allowed any other club to come in and sweep in. And because United aren't in the Champions League, there you go.
Yeah, it makes it. It's an easy sell, isn't it? It's an easy sell. Arif, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say, from what I've heard, that the lad that you're looking to sign, that Timber, he's turned you guys down.
No, Timber hasn't turned us down. What's happened with Timber is Louis van Gaal. Not that he's bitter because United didn't exactly sack him straight after he won the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And all of that. He just basically told Timber, if you're not going to play week in, week in at Man United, you're not going to the World Cup squad. Basically, citing what happened with Donny. Now, the problem is, Ten Hag won't guarantee anybody first team football. He's not going to say, yeah, you're going to play week in, week out. He's just not going to do it.
Well, no manager would they?
I think also sometimes some of these players are looking at next 12 months. They may consider moving to United in the next 12 months, depending on how far they reach.
Yeah, I think players will think it's good to jump on board a project that's moving in the right direction rather than jump on board and be part of the project that starts from a pretty low. This is the lowest position that United have finished in the Premier League in terms of points in their history.
Irrespective, yes, United may need a defender, but that's not the main problem. United's biggest problem has been is just things are really slow, but also it's midfield. United, we've lost so many players. Six players have left.
It's crazy. Like you guys, okay, let's be frank, yeah. I'm just going to bring Sadat. Into this. Sadat.
Lingard.
Yeah. Sadat, I'm just going to say this frankly. You guys have had a rubbish season.
Yes.
Right, and now you've
after the season before, where United ended up second.
Yeah, you finished second.
Yeah.
Last season you ended up being absolutely rubbish.
So things were looking, like they're going in the right direction.
But the point I'm making is you've had a rubbish season.
Yep.
And since then you've lost maybe 3 of your top 6 or 7 players. Since then they've gone. I'd say it doesn't matter what you say. Pogba is a flipping excellent player.
He is without a doubt, but he's not done great at United. It just wasn't a right partnership, or it didn't work.
So how do you feel? Like, you know what, you see Arsenal doing what they're doing. You see, forget Arsenal. Wolves. You see Wolves doing what they're doing. You see Chelsea doing what they're doing. You see City basically just sewing up the league for the next 10 years. You see Liverpool progressing forward. You've got 4 or 5 teams around you that did better than you last season, all looking like they're
strengthening.
Okay, maybe not strengthening because we've lost Mane. We're probably going to lose Salah.
Mane,
so who knows if we're strengthening or not?
I don't think Salah's going to be a bigger miss as Mane, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. But United just seem to be twiddling their thumbs. Making documentaries. What was it, Russian? Making documentaries, getting a new hairstyle.
No, going to the pub.
Going to the pub, yeah. So what do you think, Sadat? Just before we go on to that pub meeting, Sadat, what do you think?
No, look, I can't say, I disagree. We've not had a crap. We have. United had a poor season. It's not looking great. United were a team that did their business quickly. That seems to have stopped happening since Ferguson's gone. And, there's clear issues. And I think it's probably nail on the head, probably about players are going to wait until they're performing on the pitch rather than the social media.
I think so.
And
I think
perform on the
players
pitch,
will be more...
or see that the new manager's got a bit more control and there seems to be some sort of direction before they commit. He's going to probably have to get the best out of the younger players.
Do you agree with Rashid about the Frankie de Jong situation? Like, that's their number one priority and they're not going to move until that's resolved? Because it makes sense. It makes sense.
Well, if for example, United need, like Rush was saying, defenders, and they need other players as well, why all just hang your hat all on one player in De Jong? You pursue the other players for the other positions as well. I think you wouldn't say, all right, wait to get De Jong and then I'll get my defender.
Okay, Rashid, in the event that you don't land Frankie,
time's out and you don't land anyone.
Who's your second choice in that position?
Well, no, I mean, according to what's been said, it's De Jong and Eriksen are the 2 players that he desperately wants.
Yeah, Eriksen's come close, isn't he? Yeah.
Because of style, that he wants to play, and the way the team is going to be structured and play, and all of that, right? It's based on those two. It's literally those two or nothing, which is it's dangerous.
I agree, it is dangerous, but then again, I do also agree. Look, Liverpool waited for Van Dijk. They tried to get him the season before, they couldn't, and then the following season they got him. So look, I think with Ten Hag, he's got a plan in place. Yeah, I think it's not going to see fruition in the next 12 months, but he's going to get his type of players in, and then
if
slowly
they
move
put down their
that.
identity of some sort in this upcoming season, next season,
United have been
show that there's some progress, and there's play. I think then, like Arif says, waiting for the right player, the next season will come, and even they'll say, yeah, okay, let's go. We can see there's a direction.
So
and more control.
I wish Bidan was on this call, because with all fairness to him, he was saying, look, we're not going to do anything as a club until we sort the backroom staff out, right? And it's
that's not
even
going to happen next season, is it?
Yeah, it's not even the manager, it's not even the style, it's not, he goes, everything's a mess because we don't have a director of football that knows what he's doing, and we don't have that. And Rashid, you've obviously spoken to him a lot, and I just feel like, you know what, as an outsider, I've got no fear of United. Doesn't matter who you sign, because we've seen it over the last 2 or 3 years. I've got no fear of United until you have an identity. And it feels like, you know what, post Fergie, I don't think United have had other than the short period Mourinho was there, because Mourinho obviously made it boring, but you knew what he was
getting there.
He
was challenging.
I've not seen what any other managers tried to do. Ranić
Ranić or anybody else, whoever you put interim, it's just not going to work.
It was just a complete waste of time. Yeah,
they should have stuck Solskjaer all the way to the end.
So I think I like Ten Hag's stance that I need Frankie de Jong and I need Christian Eriksen, because that gives us control.
Go out and get him.
Yeah, and that gives us control in the middle of the pitch. And it doesn't matter how crap the players are around them, they'll be the right position to receive and at least pass it back to them. And we've got some kind of identity. And then they'll start dominating possession a little bit more. Because United, I think the average possession this season has been around the 50% mark.
Yeah, but you don't forget, United also had the best away record, didn't they? Wins on the run as well. So they're not been that
poor.
Think
about it. Away is what?
Yeah, no, they've been playing on the counter. But what I would judge, and we talk about backroom staff, okay, I'm not disagreeing with that. But that's, like I say, it's not going to be an overnight change all of a sudden. But you think the same players...
He's got his backroom staff in. He's got his assistants in. He's even brought McLaren back in.
Yeah,
he's brought McLaren back in.
The reality simply is, and again, this is going to another way, is another level. Till the Glazers leave, the club will never reach potential. Is the culture is stemmed from them, right? And everybody who becomes CEO is a Glazer yes person, right? And therefore, the Glazers treat the club as their own cash cow. And despite how rubbish the club's done, they're still going to take on the 24th of this month, they're going to take about 25-30 million out of the club in terms of their own dividends. So you're taking 30 million out of the club, and the club's doing absolutely, pathetic over the last year, and that's under your.
No, but they've always the Glazers, as much as you hate them, they've put their money where their mouth is. They've spent the money.
No, that's not their money. Man City's owners they forked out but they've put their own money in to the club. Not only put their own money in, then they fraudulently added more money in.
Hey, Rashid, wait. Yeah, allegedly,
right?
Yeah.
Now, all right. Whereas your owners, Liverpool's owners, right? They don't have to put money into the club of their own pockets, but what the club generates, they give you money.
So let me just pause this here. Sorry, Rashid, let me just pause you. Rashid, let me just pause you there. You know what? We talk a lot about this, and I always say, you know what? When United go out and splash big money, and Liverpool fans are like, oh, you spent 100 million, and I'm like, what do you care? They've got themselves £100 million player.
Absolutely.
Why are you crying? Right? Let's not talk about money. We don't understand the finances. We don't know what FIFA fair play actually means. What is accountable? What's not accountable? Let's not talk about that. You can say, yeah, you've signed somebody for 80 million and they've been rubbish. That's a flop. Or you signed somebody from 15 million and they've been a massive success. You've done really well business, really good business. But in terms of where you're getting the money from, as fans, we don't care.
I think
as long as your club doesn't go into administration. Now, Man City tried to get Kane last season, didn't get Kane last season. By their time, they paid 30 million, 31 million for probably the biggest prospect in world football right now in Haaland. right?
51 million.
Was it 50? I thought it was 31
Yeah,
plus add-ons.
51.
51 plus add-on.
51 euros.
51 million pounds.
Oh, 51 million pounds. Okay. All right. I
Yeah.
got 20 million out. It's
Yeah,
minor.
it's minor,
nothing.
isn't it?
It's out by 40%. It's nothing major. Yeah. All right, 51. But still, like the number one, touted player in the world probably right now as a
Yeah,
youngster.
everybody wanted him.
Everybody
Yeah,
wanted
but
him.
even if you look at him,
Yeah.
the contract he's got
Yeah.
at City, he can move on in 3 years' time.
Has he got a buyout clause?
He's got a clause of 128 million pounds.
No.
Everyone has a
It's not
buyout.
128. It's minimum. It's basically around about between 150 to 200 million. That's press specific speculation. Man City will never. I mean, as bad as Man United are behind the scenes, City are just the opposite. They're absolutely brilliant in what they do, and we all have to agree with that. You look at City's signing in and how the players they've bought and all the rest of it, right? Only a club like Real Madrid will be able ever to come in and buy a Haaland of Man City, and they would have to pay 150, 160, 170 million. It won't be 128 million. If it's 128 million, then Chelsea and United could do that easily.
Yeah, but that's the point. I think that's what he's put in his contract. Look, Haaland is a special player, and he's a special player for a number of reasons. Yeah. First of all, he's looked at his contract, or the people behind him have looked at his contract. The contract that he had with Dortmund, 50 million.
How does that make him a special player?
Well,
He's a special player for a number of reasons. Firstly, he's had a look at his contract. That's got nothing to do with it.
My point is, I think, he wants to build him up.
He's got a plan.
He's got a plan.
He's got a plan.
Yeah. So
He's a
that's
smart player.
Smart player, then.
Yeah, smart player.
That agency have done that. They're going to maximise the finances they can get out of Haaland. So they realise if he goes to Man City, he's going to score loads of goals, no matter what. And he's an elite level finish, right? And a generational player.
There's no two ways about that.
If he gets 40 goals in the Premier League for 3 consecutive seasons, then there is no doubt that in the end, Real Madrid, by the time he's 24, 25, will come in for him, and they will pay up to 200 million to take it. Now, his agents are just going to milk it. They're going to be, it's like literally, they're going to be getting they'll be signing on to the Live Series with Saudis and getting the amount of money they're going to be getting.
Sadat, I'm just going to get Sadat. Do you reckon Man City have sewn up the Premier League for the next 3 years?
Well, they couldn't do anything more not to.
Yeah. As in, like, they've done the right thing to sew it up.
Yeah.
If they don't, they've basically just
or somebody else has stepped up somewhere without, like a Leicester out of nowhere.
Yeah, I think a Leicester story in this current climate is I don't know.
Not with that.
Well, they're getting rid of Sterling, aren't they? Sterling's going. Jesus.
So they're looking to sign Cucurella and Calvin Phillips, and then
they've all signed Alvarez. Right.
So tell me about Alvarez, because I don't know anything about it. Do you know anything about Alvarez? Go on.
Yes, because United were offered Julio Alvarez in January for about 18 million.
18 or 80?
18.
Okay, 18. Okay.
And he's in the Argentinian leagues. He's the outstanding player.
Okay.
Even ahead of Enzo Fernandez, who's meant to be a defensive midfielder.
Yeah.
He's the outstanding player in Argentina, and he's small. He's meant to be. They're basically saying he's small, he's quick, he's quite skillful, can play as a 10 or as a 9. He's literally got a goal a game in the Argentinian league. Now, people may say, and he's also outstanding in the Copa Libertadores, which is their version of the Champions League.
And United said no.
United said no. Those who were the scouts at United said no to him, and they said no to a couple of other players. When Radnick asked for an attacking player for a centre forward, he was said no, there's no forward out there. You can't get anyone. So no. And therefore, what happened with United, and
we all know very well what happened with United.
Greenwood and Cavani and all the rest of it, injury, suspensions, all of that sort of stuff. And they said there's no forwards available. Well, there were at least 3 available, as pointed out previously. And then that's it. And then City, he was then offered to City. City signed him. Pep looked at him and said, "Yep, I want him."
How much money?
They did the deal. How much money? 18 million.
Same price. Oh man!
City United, same price.
So let's.
I think also when City, the difference is when City sign a player, they'll bring him gradually. I think with United, there's a lot of work in the background.
This is a brilliant point. No, this is a brilliant point. I completely agree with this. Look at Grealish at City and look at Sancho at United. And I would argue that Sancho's done more than Grealish. Honestly, I would genuinely.
I think so,
right, I think so, because Sancho's come into a struggling team and he's been thrown in at the deep end and he's had to deliver. And
he's had to.
Every single time he's made a mistake, it's been highlighted and isolated and magnified. Grealish has been a passenger, man. He's been a complete passenger. He's been an absolute. He's a fake.
He could afford to be a passenger.
100 million player. He's 25. He's played in the
Premier League before. It's not as if it was new to the Premier League.
Exactly. But then look what Arif says. Like, you know what? He's won himself a league title. Cost 100 million. He's won himself a league title by being a passenger. And next season he's gonna have that pomp about him. Like, you know what? I'm a champion. I'm a league winner, and you know I'm fit into this team. They're getting rid of Sterling. I'm the man now.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, whereas Sancho, I'm sure he's having a summer where he's under pressure, thinking my place in the England squad's under threat. My place in the first team at United is under threat. I was the most promising young player in the Bundesliga. All of a sudden, I'm off the radar. He's going to be destroyed, right?
England doing brilliant. 4-0 defeat to Hungary at home.
Yeah,
it's going on to England a bit.
You know, I mean, he was a fantastic player when he was at Dortmund. You know, let's not.
He's still a fantastic player. You can't say when he was.
I think his confidence has been shot down a little bit. I think
it's an injection of a new manager. We'll see next season, innit, what happens. Interim manager's not going to do much for him.
Dortmund predominantly on the right. At United, he's been thrown out on the left.
I've seen that.
Even when United got thrashed by City, the goal that he scored against City was actually really, was something special, and he's shown his ability in fleeting moments. But then again, that's all United been just a couple of moments in games. United have been good. Other than that, they've been absolutely poor.
Agreed. If they've been a moment team, have a 5-minute spell or a special minute here.
They've been a moment team with the exception of Ronaldo. Ronaldo's been a seasoned player, mate.
But he's one of the moment players that you expect something, he'll deliver it.
He's had more moments than most.
Yeah. Probably. Yeah.
Listen, let's move on. We've talked a little bit about City and a little bit about United.
I think we need to mention England somewhere.
If we have time, I just want to pick up on this other guy, this Carvalho guy that we've signed from Fulham.
19-year-old.
Rashid, I'm actually very, very excited about this player. And I don't know how much you know about him, but he had a really good season. He's very, very young. He's in the Coutinho mould, just in terms of the position he plays, and he's got some really good stats. I know it's only Fulham. And I know he's going to have a big step up. But at 19 years of age, do you think we've potentially got ourselves a gem, or do you reckon this is just going to be one of those cinema Pongol type players?
No, I think he looks the real deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, again, he's playing in the Championship. It's a step up. He may just take a bit of time. I mean, Klopp might hold him back for 3-4 months and, make sure he's up to sort of the technical level that's required. I'm sure fitness-wise is not a problem. He can cope with the speed of it as well. It'll just be the level. And also, can he press the way high press and the technique has he got? But I will say, typical Liverpool raiding small clubs.
Typical, of course.
With my United having a pop at you guys.
Yeah.
No, you carry on.
Well, we got Harvey Elliott, didn't we, when they went down?
That's the whole point, Harvey Elliott. And you used to raid Southampton quite regularly.
Yeah.
Look, my concern for Liverpool would be this, and I know you're going to say your typical United.
No, go on.
If Darwin Núñez, because the money that's cost Darwin Núñez, right?
Yeah.
You've got £85 million, 100 million euros, right? Which is the money you spent on Darwin Núñez. And because Mane is leaving, if Salah gets injured and Núñez does not deliver, you'll be struggling up front. That's my concern for Liverpool.
Firmino, bro.
Yeah, we've got plenty of people.
We've got Firmino, Jota, and Diaz, right? All three of them can play in the front three.
Yeah, precisely.
Absolutely, we don't want that. Absolutely.
My only other concern for Liverpool is this: it's their midfield. The first thing I would have done is fine. Even if Mane left, I would have said, right, I've got Diaz there, right? I would have definitely bought another box-to-box midfielder because Fabinho is in his peak, right? Fabinho is fine; he's in his peak. The others, Thiago is always getting injured. He's regularly getting injured, right? So is Henderson now. He's 32. He gets muscle injuries.
Good point.
Milner's getting injuries, but you haven't replaced Gini. A Milenkovic Savic, a Fabian Ruiz would have been ideal for you.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, we've got Keita, who I think is.
I agree with you, and I think what they're looking at is to bring in a top signing, spend a little bit of money next season, because Hendo's going to go next season. I think it's going to be his last real reason why he's going to be playing regularly. And you're right, Milner's.
So they'll be playing catch up to City as well.
We
always are.
Yeah,
I think Liverpool aren't City or United.
Yeah, but to be so close to City this past season,
we're chasing two
to
teams.
the last game.
Liverpool are chasing two teams. We're
to
chasing
the last
Man City
45
and Real
minutes.
Madrid.
They were close to.
They're the only two teams we chase.
And not to build to get closer in anything else.
We
City
can't afford it. United have got money. City have got money. Liverpool, we're a poor club.
I think Liverpool.
We win on a budget.
Rashid, what's your opinion on Jude Bellingham coming to Liverpool? Is there rumours on that?
Look, every club in England.
Jude Bellingham.
Bellingham.
City want Bellingham. Chelsea want Bellingham, United want Bellingham, Liverpool want Bellingham, and guess what? Real Madrid want Bellingham.
Yeah.
And let's be blunt. If Real
He's
Madrid
go to Tottenham instead.
And Real Madrid want Bellingham to replace Modric, they've made that very clear. They want, and they've even been contacted, Dortmund, saying, look, 80 million, 90 million, how much you want for him for next summer? So that's what Real Madrid have done. So all the Premier League clubs are behind Real Madrid right now for Bellingham.
True.
There's a few comments.
Our studio manager said
I think
Bellingham would
Liverpool
be brilliant
have
at Liverpool.
85 million
He
apparently.
doesn't know what he's talking about.
He knows exactly what he's talking about. Sorry, I've just got a photo of Steve McLaren on my screen. I don't know why. Have we got a few comments?
Yeah, Bidan and Arsan Ali both commented. I'll let you read it.
You read them out because I've run
Bidan
out
says
of time.
United need a defender who loves to defend, a midfielder who knows where the goal is, and a striker who scores goals for fun, as opposed to a striker who hates scoring. And Arsalan Ali says Spurs leading the way so far with transfers. Not good for us Arsenal fans.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Right. We are almost out of time. It's been interesting. I mean, so we'll be back next week, and obviously we'll talk more transfers. Hopefully, something will have happened. We didn't even talk about this chat in the pub that the 12 fans
We'll
had.
really talk about England and Southgate.
We didn't talk about England. We didn't talk about Hungary. We should talk about Hungary. Forget England. Let's talk about Hungary.
Hungary would have covered it, innit?
We're going to talk about potentially new manager in the hot seat for England when it comes to
Newcastle.
The World Cup.
What's going to happen to Newcastle?
But yeah, we're all out of time, guys. Thank you so much, Rashid. Thank you on the phone. Arif, Sadat, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Studio manager, thanks for your inputs as well. And we'll see you next week. Assalamu alaikum.